To describe what goes on in a process is demanding. Many things can happen. There are nuances which can affect action and what you plan to realize. New matters can emerge too. So, in implementation processes of new technologies in organizations, it is challenging to control and to predict what will or can happen. One needs an approach to get the details on what occurs in the process. A way is to map new work routines by focusing on recursive use of digital technologies. Or you might ask, if you start using a social media technology, do you make use of it in a new way? Are there new patterns? What are they? What do you call them? In teaching and learning, we can argue that one works in a process. There are different ways to address a learning process which happens in a class or over a longer period. Earlier in the course, we attempt to describe the work process in which most teachers are familiar with, the school year calendar. We can assume that school starts in August and will last till June the next year. The question is, how can we talk about mapping new work routines from recursive use of digital technologies in a classroom situation? A solution is to address what become important themes in processes and situations where teachers and students have recurrent social interaction with digital technologies. For example, in each month in the school calendar, you can mark them with an overall theme. This is based on how particular learning activities go, large or small ones. This approach was used in my study of Inger's classroom practice. A tag was used to point out recurring and constituting technology patterns and contextualized in a linear story. The 2 first months was called the introduction phase. Here, Inger introduced her students to work digitally. She spent time to establish a classroom presence and connected with her students. The 3rd month was called stabilization, which demonstrated practical challenges Inger met when she attempted to work with the classroom culture. She tried to motivate her students to use social media and encourage them to participate in her learning activities. The 4th month was called unexpected enabler. This was a period showing how certain social media technology had a positive outcome. For example, she tried out a simple gaming app. She thought it would be a failure, but to her surprise, her students used it to carry out a learning activity related to learning goals set in the curriculum in English. The 5th month was tagged the halfway assessment. This was a period used for evaluation of her classes. Now, Inger assessed how the students accepted working with digital technologies. The 6th month was called the standardization period. It shows Inger's experience with how her classes and learning design had become differently accepted among her students. It also revealed that she was faced with motivating her students to engage more with using social media in foreign language training. The 7th month was marked as collaboration and self-organization. It demonstrated how Inger's digital classroom practice had become more routinized, allowing Inger to examine the meaning of students' capacity to collaborate and become self-organized in their learning. The 8th month can be called assessment. It focused on the learning result she achieved after 8 months of teaching.